So we want to do the very ridiculous 43 through 46 in 7.5, which are just questions about varying powers of I, right? So what's the only thing you need to know about I?
I is -1, or the square root of
Yeah, so I squared is -1. This is really the thing you need for this. So when I'm looking at I to the 9th, like in 43, I want to say, okay, I to the 9th is I, how many i's multiplied together?
9.
9 of them, right? So it's I times I times I times I times I times I, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so please note I'm not going to do this for the 85 or 81 or whatever number 46 is. But the idea is here. So if you use your blue fact on this thing, what do you discover?
There's 4 groups of 2.
This guy is a -1, right?
Right.
This guy is a
-1.
-1. This guy is a -1. This guy is a
-1.
-1. And what is there left over? There's one I left over that I didn't use, right? You guys see that? So what's -1 times -1 times -1 times -1? 1. Okay, so you got out of this 1 times I, just I. Circle done. Cool. Another thing we might add to our blue fact is an optional blue fact. Which is, what did we learn about I to the 4th just now? +1, right? You guys see that? That's grouping. If I group 4 of these things, right? It's 2 -1s, that gives me a +1. That'll actually make my life a touch easier. So if I'm going to do I to the 11th, you guys see that? So first things first, count however many groups of, like full groups of 4 there are, and pitch them, right? So when I've got I to the 11th, like in 44, I'd say, okay, that's I to the 4th times I to the 4th. And okay, so how many did I use up so far? 8. Can I get another one?
No.
I can get a pair and a single, right? And now I can use my blue fact on, I can use my optional blue fact on this guy, right? I to the 4th is 1. I to the 4th is 1. So I've got 1 times 1 times -1 times I. Gives you all told minus I.
So it's obvious that any I to the odd power is going to be negative.
No,
Because
because 1's an odd power, right?
Well,
Sure.
so it's not.
Okay, well, but like anything greater than 1, that's odd.
Like 5. So I to the 5th, right,
It's not negative.
is I to the 4th times I, right? So it's every
Positive.
other odd is even.
Right, because 9.
Or every other odd is positive, and the other ones are negative. Yeah, it's a bit more confusing than that. The first thing you want to do is pull the full powers of 4, and then figure out what's left.
Right, yeah.
You guys see that? So if I have 58, row, right?
Could just divide it
That's
into
worth what?
Yeah, so I don't know, right? You guys know off the top of your head how many groups of 4 there are in 58? Yeah, I don't know, like 13 or 14 or something. So let me do it this way. So I to the 58 is definitely I to the 40, right? That's a nice easy multiple of 4. So what's that thing going to be? That's 10 groups of I to the 4th, right? So that's going to be 1. And then there's, let's see, so then I'll have, how many left?
18.
18. Okay, so I can say that this is I to the 18. You guys see how I just made my life easier with a blue fact again?
Yeah, you just can't do that one.
Right, because this thing here, right, is I to the 4th times I to the 4th 10 times, right?
Right.
So it's 1. And then I to the 18th, how many 4s are there in there?
4.
Yeah, there's 4. So I get that this is I to the 4th times I to the 4th times I to the 4th times I to the 4th, right? Or I to the 16th times I
To the second.
squared. And then my blue fact will tell me that these guys are all
1.
1.
And
And
then
this guy here is
negative.
-1. So out of 1 times -1, I will get -1. Circle done. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. How about for I to the 80th? This one's actually easier. Or I to the 81st, rather. Why did I say I to the 80th?
Because that's part of 4.
Yeah, because that's a bunch of 4s, right? So I to the 80 times I to the 1, right? And then I to the 80 is 1, so this is I. Bam, done. Cool. So what's the moral of the story?
4s.
Yeah, 4s make big powers easy, right? Because they're 1s. We could do this with 2s, right? You could count pairs,
Twice as far.
but then you'd have to keep flipping, right? You flip the sign.
Yeah.
You're going to end up doing what little kids do with light switches, right? And you'll have to figure out at the end, right, how many times you flip the light switch is the light on or off, right? Yeah, is that ideal? No. Does it work? Sure. Cool. Another thing we could have done is we could have used our previous information. You guys see that? Like, because I just did 3 of these, I could like, oh, I know what I to the 58th is, right? It's -1, so I could have broken 81 into I to the 58th times I to the whatever, right? 81 minus 58. I could have put this information in and then dealt with the other half. But I think the 4s are probably better.
Yeah. Conceptually better.
Yeah. Questions, things on this? Did I help your?
Yeah, just kind of, it's just weird when, because like, I think what he said is like, it's not always a consistent base, you have to spread it out a little bit more to know whether it's a negative or a positive.
Yeah, there's not the like nice consistent rule like there is with -1, right? There's some slight issues with this because really I squared is -1, and that's kind of your problem. Cool. Questions, thing?